Maggie Lewis.
Good morning, everyone. For over 150 years, the Boys and Girls Club's mission and purpose has been the same. It has not changed. We serve the kids that need us most. I applaud Prosecutor Mears for his leadership, his willingness to partner with us, and to make our youth a priority in our great community. We at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Indianapolis believe that all youth deserve an opportunity to have a safe environment, a safe place where they can learn and grow and become productive citizens in our community. We don't describe what that looks like, what that feels like, but we come alongside our kiddos to ensure that they can become their very best. At the Boys and Girls Club, we offer a variety of programming, mentoring, tutoring, substance abuse classes, whatever it takes to ensure that that young person will become productive and successful in life. We have a variety of programs, and at this time, I want to introduce you to I apologize, Eric Davenport. I'm not sure where that came from. Eric Davenport. He operates a pivot program here in our community. He serves young people 16 to 24 years of age who have gotten off the beaten path. His job is to re-engage them and bring the youth back into the community and wrap services around them to ensure that they're successful in life. So at this point, Mr. Davenport, if you would like to share a little bit about your program.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, Prosecutor Mears and our CEO and leader, Maggie Smith. My name is Eric Davenport, Maggie Lewis.
Lord,
we owed it. I owed it to her.
We know
I owed
each
her
other,
one,
I
right?
promise.
Yeah. I actually see her often. It's funny. So we're just so engaged and focused on what this mission program really is. The pivot has been designed for long-term engagement to get to know these young men and women who need services, and then we're able to better hone in on what that individual service is needed for that individual person. Everyone has a barrier, and the programming that Mr. Mears is trying to implement along with Ms. Lewis is another one of those things that needs to be addressed. There are so many young men and women who get over that barrier, and we look and say yes, but we forget about the hundreds that never made it. And so we need to look at how can we lower these barriers, remove these barriers, and get these individuals prepared for life. And so I thank Mr. Mears for his foresight and Ms. Maggie for her ability to come together. And as we all know, collaborations is what we need to do because it takes a village. So we thank you very much. Thank you.
And we're happy to take any questions.
Do you have any examples of what some of these, some examples of charges that you would include or consider for this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think a lot of times it's going to be those lower level nonviolent offenses. So I think the ones that come to mind when you talk about vandalism, curfew violations, possession of marijuana, theft cases, disorderly conduct, trespass, minor in consumption, some of the things that we routinely see in our juvenile system. I think the one area where we are going to stay away with is individuals who have a connection or a nexus to firearms. We still think that's an appropriate place to route those cases through the juvenile system. And so that's really the only, what I would say would give us great pause if there was a handgun involved. Otherwise, if it's a misdemeanor offense or a level 6 offense, we want to provide this opportunity to as many kids as possible. And our first inclination is probably going to be to send it the Boys and Girls Club way. It is important to note this is for the first-time offenders or someone who's had minimal contact with the juvenile system. So if someone has a lengthy record already as a juvenile, we don't think that person would necessarily be appropriate for this program either.
And do you have an estimate of how many juveniles you think, let's hypothetically say, like in a year, might be sent this way?
We're hopeful in the hundreds, if not thousands. I think when you look at the individuals that we make contact in the criminal justice system here in Marion County, and you look at that entry point, it's a significant number of kids each and every single year. So the universe of people that we're talking about is very wide. And I think it's also important to note that the great thing about the Boys and Girls Club is geographically they cover the entire city and they offer opportunities and resources to everybody around the county. So it doesn't matter where you live, we'll be in an opportunity to hopefully help serve those individuals.
What do you hope to achieve during this pilot year, and what's going to be, I don't know if measures of success is the right word, to make this a permanent program or not?
I think it's two things. I think number one, it's do we see recidivism? Do these kids have additional contact with law enforcement in the juvenile court system? I think that's one measure of success. And the second measure of success is what's the engagement with the Boys and Girls Club? How often do they come? Do they take advantage of those resources? Do they take advantage of that mentorship opportunities? For me, those are the two metrics or barometers of success in terms of how I would evaluate this program. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Yeah, I would add that, how often they return to our space, how often they find themselves re-engaged with law enforcement. We are currently tracking that type of behavior at this point with our kids. So again, we believe that the more that they show up in our space, the more opportunity they have to truly be successful and get their lives back on the right path.
How long will this program last with the kids, and when does it get started?
So I would say we're started already. We've actually received a couple referrals at this point and got the young folks plugged in. I see this partnership continuing forever. Again, like our mission has not changed. We serve the kids that need us most, and we don't define what that looks like and what that feels like. And so if the prosecutor or the future prosecutor want to continue that partnership, we're all in. We want to make sure that our kids are successful.
So each individual who comes here, they can stay in the program as long as they want?
So so I should correct that then, 18 years. We serve young folks 5 to 18 in our traditional programs, and then with Mr. Davenport's program, we go up to ages 24. And we also have an alumni program, so often our young folks who are successful in our space will return and start giving back and mentoring other young folks.
Do you feel,
Are there any examples of just what they would be doing, these, children or young?
Yeah. So first I want to clarify, so we're not going to label any of the young folks that come into our space. We currently have relationships with law enforcement, with our courts, and so we do not want to label any of our young kids that come into our space. And so everyone comes in, and so if they're in school, they're going to spend an hour doing homework. They're going to spend time with their mentor. They're going to do arts. We're going to talk about health and wellness. Everyone's going to get those programming that we know is going to help them be successful. Again, so we try our best not to put kids in groups and define them by their behaviors, right?
do you feel this is going to have an immediate impact or more of a long-term investment in our youth here?
I think it's going to have an immediate impact on our community. Oftentimes we hear, what are you guys doing for the community? As an elected official, you hear that a lot. As community leaders, we hear that a lot. And so I think this is going to be an example for our community, and for us to be able to refer kids immediately as soon as something happens, I think we'll feel it immediately.
Will it be required a certain amount of days they have to show up? I mean, how do you know they're going to actually show up, I guess, and do this, I guess?
Yeah, so fortunately, the Boys and Girls Club's in a position to help track, when people come and how often they come. And for us, we're not going to define success by did you go every day, or did you miss a particular class. I think it's important when you're dealing with young people, especially young people who are going through difficult times. You can't be a prisoner to the bureaucracy, and you can't be wed to these bureaucratic rules. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be flexible in our approach. And if someone's maybe not taking advantage of the services as much as we would like, we've got a deputy prosecutor who's assigned, who's going to follow up and say, hey, I noticed you haven't been going to the Boys and Girls Club, or this opportunity is available to you. Why haven't you done that? And we want to work with people to get them involved and get them engaged, because I went out into 38th and Post and saw the work that Eric Davenport's doing. It's incredible, the impact and the environment that they create for people at the Boys and Girls Club. And so I think if we can get people in the door, the services sell themselves. It's a tremendous opportunity, and people are getting better, whether it's getting better about learning about their own nutrition, their own health, dealing with their own family situation, getting better at athletics. They provide the environment. It's just getting them through the door, and we think we can help bridge that.
I will add, and Mr. Davenport, you may want to speak to this. We at the Boys and Girls Club have really worked hard to make sure that we're providing a program that kids actually want to participate. We want to make sure that our space is a space they want to show up and that we're relevant. And so we tend to do things a little bit outside the traditional box of after-school care or after-school programming. Eric offers basketball, they have parties, and there's a DJ, and there's music. And so again, trying to make sure that we create this space where young people actually want to show up and that it's cool to be in our space, right? So again, trying to do things outside the box and make sure that our programming in our space is a space that they really want to be at. You want to add anything? Okay.
Why is now the right time to start a program like this?
Well, I think the biggest thing for us is we're not seeing the results that we want to see in the community. And when I look at some of the problems that we face, especially as it relates to gun violence and the age of people who are involved in gun violence, we have to start reaching kids earlier. And what we've previously been doing has not produced the results that we want. And I am a big believer, and we really need to make sure that we are investing in young people, and young people know that we care about them. And we want to give people an opportunity. Too many kids go down the wrong path, not because they're bad people, is because they never had an opportunity or another chance to do anything else. And I think the Boys and Girls Clubs helps reduce those barriers. And so I think right now the timing is perfect, given kind of the current situation that we're in. And for me, it's just very encouraging to have a partner who is willing to step up and help manage this program and offer just tremendous resources to kids who need it most.
Is this at all the Boys and Girls Clubs around the city, or just at one particular location?
All around the city. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I'm going to just say, please spell my name right. It's E-R-I-K. And it's not Devin. That's all I would ask.